Allan, great to have you with us, and tell us a bit about Boost. I mean, when I heard Boost, I was like, Boost the payment gateway or Boost, and then reading some things about you was very interesting. Talk us about Boost and maybe your journey on how you got to where you got to.
Sure. Boost the airline as well. Boost the telco character. There are a number of Boost organisations. What we specialise in at Boost on the hospitality side is language learning and language and vocational skills associated with hospitality.
So really it's an online learning provider to some extent, or education?
Yes, it's a mobile learning provider,
yeah.
A mobile training platform,
yeah.
And mobile apps specific to different disciplines within hospitality.
Okay. And why the focus on hospitality? Talk us through your early, how did this come about?
That's my fault. Hospitality and myself have been colleagues for probably over 30 years. I've been in Asia for 25 of those, and I've worked in technology and hospitality for a long time. So I saw back in end of 2017, early 2018, really a gap in the market, and that was mobile learning as just a general offering. There was lots of language training. There must be 100,000 apps out there that teach you everything and charge you everything from 50 cents a day to $500 a day.
Absolutely.
But there was nothing specific to hospitality. And I've worked through property management systems, point of sale systems, technology. I've done 2 other startups in technology in the past 20 years. And for whatever reason, I always end up back in Singapore. Singapore has been the headquarters for a few of my business units. And this time we had dinner one night with the general manager, whose name I will keep hidden. And he basically came back and just said, we are desperate for some form of tool, some form of training that our millennial staff, our younger staff, can get hold of. A traditional approach has not worked. And we need them to be more confident in how they approach guests in their own language. So what can we do about improving our English, and what can we do about improving Chinese?
So from that point, that journey to where you are today, right? Mm-hmm. What were some of the key milestones and maybe some of the struggles and challenges that you went through, and some of the learnings that you've taken from there?
Yeah. So
you're probably going to use that to base your future growth, I guess.
Right. The first one would be, we went straight back at that general manager and said, okay, put your
money where your mouth is.
Absolutely. Help us and we'll help you. So our first client was out of Bali, Indonesia.
Nice. And
it was looking at just how you would greet a guest, how you would just say, good morning, welcome to the, good afternoon, welcome to the hotel.
So how would you do that? Using videos or?
Initially it was just normal classroom training, probably PowerPoint, and then it was pretty obvious that there was a requirement for mobile. And the mobile requirement was just, it was the one common denominator that in conversations, wherever we were asked, do you have this at a mobile level? Is there such a thing as a mobile app that can do this? And everyone related that back to mobile language learning. And we're like, there's absolutely...
Duolingo and all those guys.
Yeah, right? There's Duolingo. There's some good ones out there.
Yeah.
But we did not think they were good enough. And we didn't think they were easy enough to use. And therefore the level of engagement wasn't there. And really that was when we get our first client, we start to learn that information, you get feedback from guests, and that's great when the guest says, hey, it was fantastic. I walked in not expecting anyone to be able to talk to me in English and also in Chinese, and we had staff who were already doing that. So what that actually relates to is then improved guest satisfaction. You start to see comments on things like TripAdvisor. So the general manager at the property is like, oh, I like that because his KPIs, what he gets paid on or she gets paid on is all relevant, and that needs to happen more and more and more. And that was then when I think we really understood, okay, there is a requirement for this. Was it cost effective initially? No, of course not. Was it really viable? Probably not. But what we've been able to do in about a year is actually show that there is a requirement for this. There are proven results. So we have numbers, we have some statistics now. We have a hotel at the moment, Bangkok, Thailand, that is attributing upwards of 5% to the top end of their business. Down to using some of their tools to both manage, maintain and monitor their staff and their staff's learning progression. And that's been great. That's been really good for us.
Wow. And just very quickly, if you had to summarize your learning over the last 2 years or so, as you built these things, right? What were the big key takeaways that you'd say anyone starting a business needs to think about?
Listen to the customer. Do not, which I often see in technology, develop it for technology's sake. Listen to the customer. And honestly, I carry on and I just come back to listen to the customer.
So I think it's going to be
because it's a very important thing. And I think today, because app development and that mobile world often is not, it's very quick to come up with something. You can sit there and on the back of a piece of paper come up with this.
Hackathons and all that.
Without any sort of thought about how do you support, how do you move it, how do you
scale.
So
the customer validation and the customer insights is going to be key to
it's going to be key, because at the end of the day, whether it is a enterprise play and you're talking at that corporate level, or a consumer play, you both have to address, they both have to be addressed. And you basically need to be thinking sort of 2 years ahead of where I need to be and how I scale. So those initial few years for me are proof of validation or proof of concept. Validate the business model, get the financing in place, get some strategic alignment in place, and then go for it.
Fantastic. Alan, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Great stuff.
Thanks.
Thank you.